Hello and welcome to Conversations. I'm Robin, your host. Today we're going to talk with Mrs. Marisa Gray and Mr. J. or James Matlack, both from our Workforce Development Department here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And we're going to talk about two programs that they have coming up, the TEDx Wyandotte County and the Innovation Summit. Hello and welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Well, that's good. Well, let's start right off by talking about the TEDx program. But first, let me back up. Let me talk about the Workforce Development Department here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College and how long you guys have both been involved with that.
I have been here in Workforce Development for, it'll be 7 years in April, and we just do abundance of programs, offerings, contract training, special events, you name it. Workforce Development is there to put that Kansas City, Kansas Community College face out front.
Okay.
So she's got me by 5 years. I've been here 2 years.
Okay.
In May, and I'm in Workforce Development. I act as a coordinator. So working with a lot of businesses to supply some training that they might need, and just connecting the businesses in the community to the students here, students, faculty, and staff here.
Good. I want to congratulate you both. You guys do a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And you have two things coming up, but we want to first talk about the TEDx Wyandotte County. Tell us what that is.
Sure. So TEDx, we have a TEDx Wyandotte event, which is April 2nd. And TED stands for Technology, Engineering, and Design originally. And it's people speaking about those three areas. And it's since evolved into different areas, so it can be business and innovation and all kinds of different topics. But the premise, the setup is you have experts speak about an idea worth sharing that's about 10 to 15 minutes, because our attention span is usually about that long.
Okay.
And so it's highly motivational, very inspirational, and just a lot of expertise about a topic that maybe you don't know a lot about.
Can we get an example? Or?
Sure, yeah, we'll have 7 different presenters, and the theme for all of them is how to impact a community. And so they're all going to speak about that, but in different ways. So we have a gentleman, Brett Ramey, will be talking about sustainable agriculture. We have a well-known innovation blogger, Mike Brown, who's the founder of Brain Zooming, and he'll be talking about innovation and how that occurs in a community. We'll have the band Making Movies, talking about music and how it can impact lives. We also have Mary B. Lucas, who's Mary Bicklemeyer,
Okay.
so from the Bicklemeyer meat packaging plant here in Kansas City, Kansas. She'll be talking about her father's company and how that's impact her life. And then a few others. There'll be 7 all said and done.
Okay.
A spoken artist, our spoken artist, and I just went blank on her name.
Yeah, Sherry Hall is
yes.
a poetry slammer. And so she'll be doing some poetry slams, which
Okay.
I wasn't familiar of until I met Sherry. But it's an interesting thing to see, and so she'll be doing that for her 10-minute presentation.
Now, how did you go about getting all of these people to participate with the TEDx program?
We put out a call, working with students, and there is an official TEDx sponsor here in Wyandotte County, and her name is Sherry.
Sherry Wilson with Project Central.
And so she came to us and says, I have the license for TEDx here in Wyandotte County, and what can we do to partner and make this happen? Because TEDx events generally have taken place at Johnson County, Kansas City, Missouri, and it was time to have one here in Wyandotte County.
Okay.
So we were really appreciative of her coming and saying, how can we partner? And it just started 6 months ago, and we've put this thing together, and we are ready to roll.
Well, wonderful. Now, what about the licensing process?
So TED.com, it's like a franchise. So these TEDx are a franchise of the TED Talks. And so they're independently organized. And so we're the independents that are organizing this TEDx talk. And so they have a bunch of licenses that we have to follow. Actually, Sherry Wilson with Project Central has the license. But then there's a lot of requirements and different rules we have to follow to stick with their format and to be able to call it a TEDx event.
Some of those rules would be?
Color schemes, the format, so everybody speaks for 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
The format includes having no podium. You know how you get used to people standing behind a podium and delivering the word. This is clearly spontaneous, and so that individual has to be out front, and you have to clearly see the TEDx in those bright colors.
Okay. Okay. Besides the color scheme and everything, is there any format that they have to speak on? You know, I know they have a 10-minute window, but is there any format that they have to follow?
We've worked with them the last 2 months, so they've gotten to kind of pick, as long as it's within the topic. There's a committee of about 15 of us that have been working on this for about about 6 months.
6 months.
16 would be impressive, but 6 months. And so we kind of selected the topic, and then they've given their topics that they want to do for their 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes.
So they send it in to you?
They send it into the committee, and then we've all talked about it and worked with them. They're all doing their dry runs next week, so we'll get to hear, is this kind of what we were thinking, or is this way off? Is there a relationship to our theme with what they want to talk about? So that's kind of how it's molded into what they'll end up talking about.
Okay.
I think one of the things that's important from the presenters, they have to be very engaging with the audience, so they can't read from a script. They can have very limited slides with very few words on them, but it's not like you're going to be listening to a full lecture.
Okay. Okay. Now, tell us who's involved with this. Are there any high school students, college students, community involvement?
Yes. The correct answer would be all the above, I guess.
Okay.
To some degree. We have some high schoolers that are volunteering for certain parts and registration and the networking parts that night. It'll actually start, and it'll be 30 minutes of networking, and then we'll get into the presentations. And then when it concludes, there'll be 30 minutes of networking after that too. So we'll have cookies and coffee and snacks like that. But through planning all of this and being involved on that day, we'll have high schoolers, some of the high schools here at USD 500, and then we'll also have some students here at the college. A lot of community members are involved.
Businesses, local businesses. Probably from our community college standpoint, we have individuals that come from the theater department, from Student Senate. They've really been helpful in the recruitment process and getting our students involved and engaged. And for some of them, it's a new concept, and so we had to step back and figure out, how do we introduce TEDx to our school? And Student Senate came up with the idea of having weekly or bi-weekly conversations. We streamed some things down in the deli. So it was just a way of bringing everybody up to speed. And without their idea, we wouldn't have probably put that on the table.
Wow. Okay, you got collaboration from all over.
Collaboration, that's the name of the game.
We have a couple of students as well that are going to be emceeing it.
Okay.
We haven't yet selected one, but there's a couple that are interested, so we're working with them, and we'll have a student MC the whole event as well. So
wow,
now
nice. That's impressive, getting the students to just pick up and take the mantle and go with it. But let's go back, talk about the networking.
Okay.
How do you get high school students to network with college students and community business individuals? How do you get that ball rolling?
We are actually working now with individuals from the Intercultural Center to put on a networking session, because we know networking is one of those things where people think they can do it, or they're not quite sure they want to do it. How do you begin the conversation? And really, networking, we're trying to portray the message that networking is just simply joining a group, a common conversation, a common intro line, and letting it roll from there. You just take what you know, what you're comfortable in talking about, and make sure you move around from group to group. Maybe it's the same question you ask each group, but it's just making your presence known in different locations.
Now they do this at the reception stage, right?
They do this at
the
the
reception.
reception.
Around the room and get to know different people that are in the room.
Right. It's a great place to collaborate, because there's just the whole range of businesses and high schoolers and people here at the college and business leaders and community leaders, kind of all at this event together, usually at these TEDx talks. So it's a good place to network and meet people.
Sounds like it's going to be a fun event. I'm
We're
glad
looking
that it's
forward
held
to it.
right here on the campus. Very
That's the most
happy.
exciting part, that it is
Right.
held right here on the campus. And we have so many great things happening on campus, with the ball field just opening up and all of our athletic things. So why not say to the community, come and see what else we can do. Google coming to our area, this is a part of that technology stream, and we're just letting our community know that we are so ready and we want to support their efforts in growing.
We're going to talk about some more of those things when we come back from the break, because I know we have a lot more to cover.
Yes, we
And
do.
we'll be right back on Conversations with Mrs. Marisa Gray and Mr. J. Matlack.
TEDx is an opportunity for individuals that have great ideas to come together, to listen together, bounce those ideas off of each other, and make things happen.
Hi, and welcome back to Conversations. I am here with Mrs. Marisa Gray and Jay Matlack, both from the Workforce Development Department, and we're talking about the TEDx program, TEDx Wyandotte County, that is going to be here on the campus. Tell us, how would someone get involved? I know you have lots of involvement already,
Sure.
but how can one call to get involved with this project?
Great. Registration actually is open, so if you would like to attend, now's the time to do it. We opened it 2 weeks ago, and we've had 250 people register already.
Wow.
And we have a limit
A limit of
of
400.
400.
Okay, so they can
So
Still register.
participate.
Now's the time. We expect those in about 2 weeks to probably be gone by the beginning of the event, of course. So get your spot now. Register now. You can do so by going to the website www.kckcc.edu,
Okay.
and then on quick links hit Workforce Development, and you'll see there's a TEDx Wyandotte registration form right there that you can click on.
Okay. Now, where it's going to be held on the campus? In the Upper Jewel?
It'll be in Performing
In the
Arts
Performing
Center.
Arts
Performing
Center.
Arts.
Now, there is a
Okay.
registration cost, and the cost is $15, and you'll find that once you go to the quick links. But we do have a few student reservations or student scholarships available. So if you are a student, click on I'm a student, and there may be a waiver of that cost.
Okay.
A KCKCC student.
At KCKCC student, and the $15 covers the registration.
The
course,
snacks
the
and the
snack.
event. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Is lunch provided?
It's going to be from 5:30 to 8:30, and
Okay.
so we have some heavy snacks, I
Okay,
guess.
okay,
May
so
not
it's
be
gonna
quite
be
a dinner,
evening
but
event.
almost.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yes.
thank you for that information on
You
that
bet.
segment here as we wrap up the TEDx. As you mentioned before, there are lots of other things going on this campus.
There are lots of other things. During the same week, we will end the week with Innovation Summit.
Okay.
And this will be our second annual Innovation Summit. And it's just an idea for small businesses and entrepreneurs to move their business to the next level. Last year, it was our first time. We had over 100 people to participate, and we had 6 individuals that took their idea, their entrepreneurial idea, presented it to some investors, and walked away with some cash money.
Okay.
Thanks to State Street and Jay's connections with State Street. You want to tell them a little bit about
yeah.
that?
So this year was State Street has sponsored our what we call Perfect Pitch competition, and it's an opportunity for entrepreneurs or somebody with an innovative idea to pitch that idea in front of venture capitalists and bankers and some other business leaders for the opportunity to win $5,000 or up to $5,000. We have 2 different divisions. We have a general division and a high school division. So 14 to 18-year-olds can pitch in front of this group as well and win some money. And then 18 and up as well is in the general division. So they'll pitch their idea, and then the judges will select them, and the top 3 will get some cash dollars thanks to State Street.
Wow. So that's what this Innovation Summit is all about.
That's what this Innovation Summit, it's an idea, it's where you take your business idea and see if it's really worth moving forward. And what other opportunity will you have to actually make a pitch or talk about what your idea is, who the market will be, how much money you need to get it started, what's the total dream. How can you take that to a group of investors without paying a lot of money? We kind of think of this as our Shark Tank here at KCKCC, and you know the momentum that comes around this for entrepreneurs. It gives them a chance to interact with other people that have a business idea and need that kind of encouragement of is this worth doing or not. And 2, then it just allows you to meet with the people that can really make a difference and have the dollars to put behind it.
So when they pitch an idea, they come pitch ready, I guess, with everything they need for that company to know, and
In 3 minutes.
in 3 minutes.
That's
In
the catch.
3
3
minutes.
minutes to share your idea.
So how would one do that, or give us an example of how someone has done that in the past?
In the past,
us a
last year,
pitch.
give us a pitch. Yeah.
Give us a pitch.
Last year, there were a number of pitches, and one there was a
Flip flap?
Flip
Is that what you're
flap.
talking
That's
about?
what I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of. Flip flaps. This
put a
person,
phone-
she actually, she just reading her story. She said she was on the treadmill and she was trying to figure out, how do I keep my phone in place while I'm going through all of these exercise routines? And she created this little this little gadget called Flip Flap, and you wear it around your waist while you're exercising. Brought that idea to our summit last year, walked away with support from some investors, and now she's been able to take that to the next level.
Wow.
But it was just a matter of coming up with an idea. And you know, they say an innovative idea is something that solves a problem.
So this kind of sounds like a TV show, the TV show that they currently have, and I
Shark
don't know.
Tank.
Shark Tank,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
This is our own Shark Tank.
Okay. Our
That's
own
right.
local
Our
Shark
own
Tank.
local Shark Tank.
Now, can anybody get involved? I know you have high school students, college students.
Sure.
Can anybody out there? Can I come on?
If you
Yes,
have
you
something
got it.
worth
Got an idea?
selling,
Okay.
yes.
Absolutely. And that's to get involved, there's actually going to be some tryouts.
Okay.
We have one more opportunity to try out, and to do so, if you're interested, you just got to contact us at our emails, which is just our names. It's jmatlack@kckcc.edu, and we can just get a time set up, and they'll come and do a practice pitch, practice their
Now, who will
three-minute
they
pitch.
practice with?
There's a panel here of some business
Okay.
faculty that screen it, and then that's the tryout, and then we get back to you right after you try out and let you know if you made the Innovation Summit, which will be April 5th.
Okay. Now, those that don't make it,
If you don't make it for that actual pitch, we do have consultants that are willing to work with all of the individuals from the small business development. We have actually those individuals come on campus once a week or several times during the month to work with small businesses with their ideas, whether it's developing the business plan, how do I find marketing, how do I find dollars. Those are the services that we provide as a part of workforce development.
so no one actually loses.
No one
No
loses.
Even
way.
if you
No
don't
one loses.
win the money or the contact with the company, you're still getting help from our own workforce development
Yes.
That's right.
department as far as how to take it further.
A lot of places call it a startup weekend. They have these startup weeks or weekends. It's very similar to what we're doing. It's kind of like our startup event. And the idea behind these startup events is it's a way to help somebody who has a concept get it to a reality. But it doesn't happen in an event or a morning or a day or a pitch. So we just want to, we created this event so we could wrap around all the other services that we provide or that are available here in the community to entrepreneurs around this event. So this is a startup, but it's not, there's much more to it than just this.
Okay, well, we're gonna take a break real quick, but I think that we can take this a lot further, but it is time for us to take a break, and I want to talk more about this Innovation Summit and the services that you guys provide to those that don't actually win the money, but they're not losers.
That's right.
They're not
Never a
losers.
loser.
We'll be right back on Conversations. Thank you.
KCCC's Innovation Summit is April 5th from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come and listen to pitch ideas or pitch your idea yourself.
Hi, and welcome back to Conversations. I'm Robin, your host, and we're here with Mrs. Marisa Gray and Jay Matlack, both of the Workforce Development, and we're talking about the Innovation Summit. But I wanted to jump right back into the conversation that we were having before on the tryouts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you just had tryouts here a couple of weeks ago.
We did?
How did those go? And I know you can't spoil any of the
Yeah.
ideas.
We'd love to tell you some of those
Yeah,
You gotta
ideas.
come to
we
the
don't wanna
event.
spoil
To,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
come
we're
to the
gonna have
event and see
to.
the ideas. We were blown away. The tryouts were phenomenal. We've had 12 people try out now, and all were fantastic. Some great ideas, very innovative. Some things you'll walk away from the event and hearing them share them and just kind of think, that's going to work. That's really, really going to work. And so we're excited for people to hear those ideas.
Now, are any of those people that tried out this year, were they from last year?
None of this group.
Not so far. We don't have any repeaters.
We have one that is going to. She just signed up a couple days ago. She's got she pitched last year. She placed second, and she's got a brand new idea. She talked to a lot of the venture capitalists from last year after she did her pitch, and they kind of coached her, mentored her, and she's going a different direction. And so she has a different product that she's going to, similar but different, that she's going to pitch this Innovation Summit.
Well, I'm going to ask again, can we get an example of any from last year, maybe that didn't sign up for this year, and
what about the air freshener? The air freshener, there was one invention last year, and actually this product is now on the market. A gentleman has an air freshener that's a picture frame, and so he was one of the individuals to talk about his product during the summit last year. And then there was an idea of a filter for smoke, individuals that have allergies. Let's see, the flip
in a car, they put it in a car, and so you can drive, and it takes away all the kind of bad air, and so you can breathe better. And then there was another one that's the person who was pitching a new product. She was in physical therapy and realized that there's a ton of physical therapists who would like to communicate with their clients, but they have no format to do it. So she created a letter, a newsletter that's online, that's kind of uniform, that all these physical therapists can use, and that's done pretty well. And she's now got an online presence, and she's up and running. So.
Wow!
I think what's exciting about this year's Innovation Summit, we've changed the format completely. So we are actually going to have 24 slots for individuals to have their products up on display, and we kind of came up, or Jay came up with this idea that we are going to take the prize fund equivalent of $5,000 in paper money. Individuals get to walk around and cast their votes for those companies.
Wow.
And then once we determine for the companies that move to the next level.
Right, we'll count up, in the top 6 in each division that have the most monopoly money, the most fake currency, will move on to the perfect pitch competition and get to do their 3-minute pitch in front of the venture capitalists. So it creates collaboration and everybody there kind of talking and working together and sharing their ideas.
Now, how can one become one of the capital ventures?
You have money.
So you have to buy the money.
No,
you got the resources. Yeah, so to be one of those ambassadors.
Right, to be one of those.
To be one of the ones that participate, you come to the event, you sign up and you register online. Yeah. And everybody who's attending the event will get that 5,000 fake currency and will be an investor that day, and we'll go booth to booth and have conversations and listen to the pitches and the elevator pitches and the ideas and invest the monopoly money wisely, because it's going to dictate their future there at the Innovation Summit.
So this could actually help anyone who is going into the business field understand more about the business and how things are created and useful to the community.
What we're really excited about as well, the pitches are the focus of the event, of the Innovation Summit, but we also have some keynote presenters. We have Tom McDonald, who is the CEO of Kauffman Foundation. He'll be the keynote, and he's going to have John Robinson with him, who runs the Kauffman entrepreneurship programs. They'll do a 30-minute keynote right at the start to get us energized and ready to go for the pitches. And then we'll also highlight 4 local entrepreneurs who have found some success here in the area, and they've got some great ideas and some really nice stories to share. So you'll come away with a lot of knowledge from hearing from them.
Now, who are they? Do we know
them?
So
one of them is going to be a representative from General Motors, who will actually have a couple of their innovative cars on display at the event. So if you are into cars, I would suggest coming and checking those out. And then Phone to Action is a company who just won first place at South by Southwest pitch competition. They're local from Kansas City, and they're launching right now, and they're getting a ton of attention and a really neat application. You have to come to hear about it, because I don't speak very well about it. They do better than I do.
Okay.
So, and then the other one is Cyberjammer.
Cyberjammer, actually, she's a young lady who came to Kansas City because of Google's connection. She thought it was important to be here in the city, and her whole music idea is where you can be playing her instrument at the same time with another instrument in a different city. So this is all done
country.
through, or country, right? And this is all done through the internet.
Wow.
So new concept again, and Google has paved the way for that.
Well, this is going to be an exciting conference this year. I can't wait to
And we've got tons of sponsors that have jumped in. We the Women's Chamber, KCK Chamber, the Kansas Black Chamber, all of the chambers, UMKC, Wyandotte Economic Development Corporation,
KC SourceLink.
Anybody into business and entrepreneurship, we brought them to the table and just kind of moved forward. So we're all so excited.
Now let me ask you this: how would one protect their invention, their idea? Are these things protected?
Well, there's always that risk,
Right.
and it's always a balance as an entrepreneur of what you want to share and what you will share and when and where you do it. And so those are judgment calls that I think each entrepreneur makes.
Okay.
There's always risk there. Everybody signs a waiver saying that, what you hear and kind of intellectual property stuff. But really, at the end of the day, it's a risk that you take.
Okay.
And we leave that up to the entrepreneurs.
Okay, well, this has been so informative. I know so much more about both the TEDx Wyandotte County and the Innovation Summit. Tell us when the Innovation Summit is and when they can, and I'm sure the registration is open.
Registration is open now for the Innovation Summit, and it will be on April the 5th. And that happens actually during the day, 8 a.m. to about 1:30 in the afternoon. There is, it will be held in the Jewel Building. So we'll have plenty of room. And then TEDx will happen on
April 2nd, and that's 5:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
One thing to note on the Innovation Summit, when it concludes, we have this new program that we're launching called KCC Made. So individuals can go straight from the Innovation Summit to a ribbon cutting of that in the bookstore, which is an opportunity for students, faculty, and staff to sell products that they have or might be making there at the bookstore. So we suggest anybody to come and check that out and buy. You don't have to be with the college to do so. It can be a community member. Or if you're interested in selling something and you are a part of the college, to contact us and we can try to make that happen.
All right.
We believe in entrepreneurship, and no better way to show that than to support our faculty, staff, and students here.
All
so
right.
KCC Made.
We're doing big things here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. If you're interested in either of these projects, please contact J. Matlack or Mrs. Marisa Gray in the Workforce Development Department here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. Both events held here on the campus, and personally I can't wait, so I'm really excited to see how things go, and I'm sure they'll be very successful with you guys. So
thank you, Robin.
Thank you guys for being with us today on Conversations, and you're welcome anytime back. Whenever there's other things going on, and I know there are going to be plenty more.
We always
coming.
have things
That's right.
going on.
That's right.
Coming.
So check out our website all the time because
Okay.
things keep changing. We're on Facebook, we have Twitter, so just follow us.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for joining us on Conversations, and we'll see you next time.